guarantee it. Now, just for a quick review, and I've got my notes right here, what we covered yesterday was business essentials, positioning and value statements. Where does it all start when we want to start our business? It's got to start from that vision of what is our position, what's our value, what kind of value we want to deliver to people. Then we talked about the profit ladder, which, again, it's so valuable to have Cam walking us through that, because when we envision how much we value something, we could really easily undervalue or kind of approach it in a way that doesn't really benefit us down the road and get us to our essential dream of giving value and great service to people, and also honoring ourselves for doing that as we build our businesses. Because part of the heart of what we want to do is build a business, sustain ourselves, provide for our families, and live out our dreams, and providing this wonderful service for the people around us with whatever our product or service is. In order to do that, we have to have a real clear understanding of how to have a profit ladder, how to have that introductory offer, and how to scale that up appropriately, smartly, wisely. Cam does a really good job doing that. So you're going to want to pay attention to this, what was said. And then we talk about our vision. Get real good clarity on our actions we want to take. How are we going to now act upon those things we previously learned? And by the way, if you're joining us now and you haven't, check out the replay, and you'll be able to catch up on all the things we talked about yesterday. And you're going to want to do that. Now, a couple of shout outs. My other note here. We want to just thank Loki, Renee, Colleen, Justice Kudo for taking action on the dashboard from yesterday. I want to thank you so much for doing that. Tops profits to you. Said that right. Anyway, great job on that. And then for Dean Myberg, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You took action. You took action and joined the VIP and you're going to join us today. And yesterday in the VIP session, oh my goodness, we had a deep, deep discussion on so many things, and so many things that were necessary. Because again, some of the stuff we're going to cover, although it's so valuable, and it's not just superficial, we go deep in this brief time we're together, and Cam has to deliver this information to us. Some of it needs a little deeper dive because, well, if you're like me, it takes being told one or two times to get some of this stuff, to really cement it in and have a conversation. So I really encourage you that if you can, and I really encourage you to do it, to go ahead and join the VIP session right now. Now you can do that by going to smallbusinesshub.org/dashboard and check out the VIP and click on it. Do yourself a favor. Invest in doing this for yourself, because I know if you're here right now, like all of us that are here, trust me, you've got a vision for yourself. You've got a vision of the service you want to deliver and the value you wanted to deliver it at. And you're going to need guidance, because it's going to shorten that journey that you're on right now. Trust me, I know. There's a lot of us in this group that have been with Cam for a while, and she's taught us so much value, that it has taken this long journey and helped shorten it up in our understanding and our ability to implement. So I really encourage you right here, right now, to go ahead and go to that smallbusinesshub.org/dashboard and look at the link and click it for VIP. Do that for yourself and your vision you have and the business you want to have and the people you want to serve. You're going to thank yourself at the end of the day. All right. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, today, get ready to have your pencil sharpened. Make sure your pen's got plenty of ink in it. You got paper. Download the workbook, because today we're going to cover your MVC, your most valuable customer. This is the one you want to serve. This is the one you want to reach and deliver your service and your product to in a very powerful, very authentic, real way. So that's what we're going to go over today. Perfect for you. Build your irresistible offer. You've probably got that all figured out. But what Cam's going to give us how you dial that in to speak to your most valuable customer, to say it in such a way, to deliver it in such a way that's really going to reach them. Because as probably with you, or with if you're like me rather, sometimes you have an idea in your head and you kind of write it out, you say it out loud, and it kind of somebody listens to it. Yeah, it's cool, but it's not quite there. Well, Cam's going to help dial that in. Trust me, she'll do a great job with that. And then we're going to build our messaging that resonates. We're going to talk about that some more and how we're going to actually take our message and get it out there. And Cam's going to go over that. So without further ado, I'm going to politely excuse myself and bring up Cam, because that's what you're here for, right? All right. If again, join the VIP session, you can join us all at the end. But for right here, right now, let's tune in, dial in, pay attention, and take advantage of this great opportunity with Cam. All right. There, Cam?
Yes. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Jason. I think I need to change the spotlight. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world you're from. I know where I am at. It's 11 a.m. and every moment of the day is chai time for me. So it's chai time for me. Let me know what beverage you're enjoying wherever you are. Oh, I see some bubbly liquids there. And I also wanted to say, if you are not watching us right now live, but you're watching us afterwards, put in a hashtag replay. Give us a hello, give us a hi so we know you were here. Well, our topic for today is finding your market and your message. And by a market, I mean, we always talk about who's your who. Who's the one person? Who's that one person I want to serve, right? So we are going to dig deep into who's that who. Who's that one person? Who's your ideal customer? And what I call the most valuable customer. And I want you to reframe a little bit from the thinking today. I want you to think from not finding that person, but focusing more on the problems you solve. Like we did yesterday. Yesterday, we focused on, it's not what we do, but it's why we do what we do. So today we are going to focus a little bit on finding our most valuable customers, but we are going to be in a little bit different mode while we are thinking through this. If you can see my screen here. Yes. So today's goal is to find your MVC, your most valuable customer, and not just to find them, but to figure out how do these people internally desire what you have to offer, as opposed to externally force them to buy things or to gather information or to, with all these, sales tactics, get them to move one time. But it is to generate that internal desire so that they want to do business with you, so that they raise their hand and say, we are interested. So that's our goal. The second goal is to create that irresistible offer so that your MVCs get attracted to whatever you have to offer to them. And then the third thing, obviously, we want to have messaging so crystal clear. Your message should hit home to your MVCs such that they pull out their credit card and they actually want to have a relationship with you. And if they're not ready to pull out their credit card, at least you get on their vision board. If it is not today, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's going to happen someday. So get on their vision board. That's our goal. So let's focus on, before we go through and figuring out who this person is, we need to figure out what's the journey someone takes when they're going to go and buy your product or services. What is the journey? What is the journey they're on? And usually people tell me, well, I don't understand the journey. I don't understand what's the process or when they get to me and how they get to me. Well, let's simplify it. Let's think through, if you were buying a car or a house, what would you be doing if you were buying a car or a house? Where would you start? Where would you start? Give me in chat, what would you do if you were to buy a car? Where would you start? What is the first thing you would do? Research it, look for it. Yep. Research. choose it. Okay. Define what kind of a car I want. Yes. What kind of car I want? Checking out ads. Okay. Which one? And you may be different, right? You might know what you want. You might already know this is the car I want, or you might be thinking that I need to do some research. You might be very loyal to a particular brand, and no matter what, you're going to just always keep going to that brand. And that was me. I was very, very, very loyal to a particular brand until I bought recently a car, and my son was like, no, let's look at other brands. I wasn't even looking until I was like, okay, let me look at other brands. Let me do some research on what more do they have to offer. And what is the next step I did after I did my research? If you do your research and you rule out a few possibilities, what would be the next step you will do? Ooh, Elaine is going to test drive it. Aarti is going to narrow down her research. Yes, before she's going to test drive. Yes. Makes sense? Yes. So there's a process. There's a journey, right? Test drive, compare. Yes, you're going to compare when you're researching. There may be, if you're not researching on a particular brand, there may be other options available to you. So what you're going to do is you're going to see and narrow down which are my top 3 options. You're going to compare the results of what option 1, 2, or 3 have, and which of those options really resonate with me. If you're buying a car, is it just to get from point A to point B? Is it to get low mileage? Is it a pride and a prestige thing, and you want to show off what kind of a shiny vehicle you have? Your goals may be different, so your research will narrow down which cars fit your needs. Comparison will help you. Yes, price shopping. I love that. You're going to see which different price models will work for you. So did you see we went from research to comparing our options for research to narrowing it down and then going to test drive? What happens at a test drive? I'm not sure if I've ever had heard of anyone who bought a car without test driving, unless it was like from a family member. Have any of you bought a car without test driving before, without actually sitting in it, without getting a feel of, the leather or, touching the wheel? Yeah, the test drive helps you really, really decide if you really want it. Yep. You get all your answers about the car. You get all the answers once you sit behind that wheel and take it out. Does it feel smooth? If you have test driven and now you've narrowed it down, what would be the next step? The next step would obviously be pricing. Is it affordable, right? I love it. How do I fit it into my budget? Can I discuss with my salesperson, what options do I have? Do I lease it? Do I buy it? Do I pay it upfront? What is my monthly payment looking like if I credit it versus if I lease it? So now you have all these options. So the process is that there is a journey that happens through the buying process. And it is applicable in every single product and service, not just buying of a car or a house. So all you need to do is map those stages to whatever service product you are offering to the world and think through, what is the consumer doing? What are they researching? What is in their head? What are they looking for? And how does my product align with what they're looking for? Give me a heck yeah if that makes sense. Me, yes. Yes. Heck yeah. Yeah. See that? Renee says heck yeah. Lynn says heck yeah. Yep. Makes sense. All right. So let's move on. So now that we know folks are actually researching before they buy, they're researching their options based on what their needs are, then let's not start by asking for a sale. Let's follow a process so the sale becomes a byproduct of a conversation. So what conversations would you be having? What conversations would you be having if someone is just out there figuring out what car they want? You will be asking them, what are your needs? How much do you drive? How far do you drive every day? How much do you want to pay for gas? What are your thoughts about a green car? How much space do you need? How big of a family do you have, right? So there are so many questions that pop up that can start into an engaging conversation. So let's start by engaging in a conversation because that gives you more insight into your customers. The second step is obviously follow the journey. Follow the journey. Every customer has a journey because, and the most simple journey, if you don't have a process yet, this is a very simple industry-wide known marketing process where a consumer always starts from an awareness state. Like they need to be aware that they have an issue. They need to be aware I need a car. They need to be aware of the reason why they need to do this. If a consumer is aware they need something, your job is easier. So I would say don't go after consumers who are not aware of the issue and who are not looking for solutions. So once they're aware that they need a solution, this is where you start having conversations with them. Once you start having conversations with them, they will show interest. Your conversations, if they're engaging, if they're interacting, if they're asking you more questions, you know that they are interested. And once they show a desire, if they come to you and they test drive, what is the desire level gone? You know they're interested. I mean, they took their time to come there and sit behind that wheel. So the desire is out there. What are your consumers doing that is showing you that they're desiring your product? And the next part is the call to action. So oftentimes we rush to call to action right away. Consumers don't buy unless and until they're aware, they're interested, they're deeply desiring something, and that's when they take action. Give me journey in the chat if you get that there's a journey to every customer, no matter what. Yes, I see that. Colleen says journey, yep. Arthi says journey, yep. So every consumer has a journey that they are really looking at before they buy a product. And I add a step in there. I say, wherever you are and whatever conversation you are having, have a validation process. Why? Because having a true and right validation process will enable you to take, I always say data, not drama, because oftentimes we're not looking at data and we're thinking, oh, this is not happening. I'm trying to find my customers, but I don't find them. Well, let's look at data. Did you really kickstart something that an awareness campaign or an interest campaign or a desire campaign? And when I say a campaign, I'm not saying fully blown mass media campaign. I'm saying just in your network. Have you started talking about things, awareness, to raise awareness of their issues and how your solutions can help resolve them? Are you analyzing those things, those conversations that you're having, that are they on track? Are you leading them through the journey? Are you understanding them through that journey? And then, you multiply what works and you minus away what doesn't. So you need to have those conversations. You need to align those conversations to understand the customer journey and start that process. So definitely, in order to understand your MVC, you need all three. You need a process in place where you are interacting. And, we all hear about funnels, that, oh, funnel is the thing to have. Everybody wants a funnel nowadays. A funnel is a good thing to have, but the concept of the funnel doesn't mean a website. It doesn't mean ClickFunnels. It doesn't mean a product. A concept of funnel actually means the journey of the customer and how you are linking that with your marketing and messaging. So if the customer is in the awareness phase, but is looking for solutions, they're looking to solve a problem. So what you can do is you can give them answers, solve some issues for them, give them some quick tips, engage with them on social media. So the whole idea is to link it together, to marry the two, the customer needs and your marketing messages. They need to align and intertwine. And the funnel is just the thing in the middle that's connecting the two. Give me a funnel in the chat if you feel like you know now that a funnel is not really what we believe it is. It's not a website. It's a process. It's a process of engaging with your customers through the journey, through their journey. It's a process of, you know, engaging with them. It's a process of learning from them and serving them. That's what a funnel is. It's not really. You can use any tool. You can not even use a tool and just has a conversational funnel. I know my customers need this and I'm going to provide them this at this stage. My customers need this at this stage. I'm going to provide them this at this stage. They need this. So keep getting them closer to you. That's the whole process. And then, of course, we're not going to get into the deep of this today, but then once you have them reach your call to actions, follow a process to engage them in the sales process. So if you have your sales process and if you have a funnel process and a validation process in the middle, you got yourself a golden magnet to get customers attracted to you. Of course, you need to show up and do the work because nothing happens until we show up and do the work. And also the other mindset I have is all roads lead to the funnel. When I say funnel, I mean the process, because what you want to do is no matter where in the customer journey you are, your goal is to move them to the next phase. If folks are in the awareness phase, they are aware of their issues, they're aware of their problems, they're seeking solutions, but they're not really quite interested in your solution. Your goal is get them interested in you. Your goal is not to take them right from awareness to, oh, I'm going to buy. No, awareness to get them interested in you. Then finally have conversations so much that they get a desire to work with you. Once you see a desire, that's when you do little nudges to call to action. But remember, all roads lead to the funnel. So they need to come to your funnel, the process funnel, in order for them to move through the funnel. You've heard me say this multiple times. It takes multiple touches today for someone to trust you and have a sale. And I think having a funnel process is actually a blessing, because if you can think through, I talked about ADA, awareness, interest, desire, and action. If you define even 3 things in this, each state, 3 messages for each state, then you have 12 messages done. Then you know three answers I can give to someone in the awareness phase, 3 things I can show to someone who's interested in my product, 3 things I can do for someone who's desiring this solution that I have. That will keep you front and center, top of mind of your customers. So think through it in that way. This is my own example. I was actually traveling and I saw these earrings somewhere online, but then an ad just kept popping up and I ended up buying them. So if you're front and center and if you show up where your customers show up and follow them through their customer's journey, it's definitely serves. When you post content, I also say it again and again, post content based on the customer journey. Every content should have some ideology of customer journey, because every content is serving your MVC. So you need to know which segment of it you're serving, awareness one, interest one, desire one, or do you want them to take action now? We talked about this, follow the process, lead the audience through the journey, without talking about your solutions the first time. You know, one of the biggest things I feel is we dwell, and I know this is not the first time you're hearing me say this, when we start a business, we dwell on the tangibles, we dwell on the website, we dwell on the social media, we dwell on, oh, I need a list. We dwell on ourselves. Well, I don't have the credentials yet. I don't have the results yet. I don't have the testimonials yet. I don't have the big education certificates. And then we just dwell on our clients. Well, maybe they don't have the money. Nobody's committing. They don't have the time. They don't have the desire. But I think the tangibles will evolve. So we don't need to keep dwelling on the tangibles. Don't keep waiting for that perfect business, perfect self, and the perfect clients to show up. Instead, I challenge you, I tell you to dwell on the intangibles, and the intangibles is what sells. It's the inner feeling of, I have an amazing offer. even though I don't have an amazing website, amazing, funnel yet, I have an amazing offer because I connect with humans and I solve their problems. I evaluate their problems and I laser focus into the solutions because I know I am the solution for the problem that I'm solving. And also that perfect customers are the ones that are just listening and discussing with me. You're listening, discussing, enabling them to make decisions. So have a conversation as opposed to having a credit card moment. It's a relationship business as opposed to a transactional business when we start working on intangibles. And once you have your intangibles defined, then you can use any social media to grow your business even without complicated technology. You don't need any complicated technology. So when I say use social media, I want you to point out to your workbook. In your workbook, I'm going to show this over here right now, but in your workbook, the first page has, the first page is all linked to your customer journey and the funnel mapping. And keep in mind, this funnel mapping is not a website. It's nothing yet. It's a process. When my customers are aware of a problem and they're seeking a solution, what is going on in their head? And what can I do to reach out to them so they get interested in me? When they get interested in my product and services, what are they thinking? What questions will they have? And so the funnel step will be, what can I do and offer to them when they're interested? So in this workbook, I want you to think through those. And those of you who are VIPs, will go backstage and we'll work on these. Because once you have this funnel defined, once you have your big picture defined, you can put this on any website. You can put it on ClickFunnels, System.io, WordPress, no matter what. You can put it on your Facebook. You can put it anywhere and it works. So the idea is to have those intangibles defined, and then we'll go from there. Now, the second thing is an irresistible offer. So we just talked about the MVC, but let's talk about the irresistible offer. So tell me, what is the offer that works for you? What is the last thing that you've purchased and it was an amazing offer? A digital product, a non-digital product, it could be anything. What made you buy what you bought? I think oftentimes I have made decisions where it's from the heart. It's like really quick. It's from the heart. And we often think it's the price, it's the package. Let's package it really well. Even with digital products, we start thinking about it. Yeah, it's all emotional. We buy based on emotional. We buy based on the trust factor. A lot of times, yes, we buy based on the trust factor because we know a lot of influential people are selling some programs and we'll go after them because we know a person of that status, a person who's achieved so much success definitely has it figured out and will be able to help me with that. So when you are crafting your irresistible offer, keep in mind it's not one thing. Your offer is not your idea. Your offer is not your product or services. Your offer is not your bonuses. Your offer is not the benefits either. It's not the price either. It's not that one thing. Even though you might think it's that one thing that made me move, your offer is actually all these things together. So you need to make sure that you have all of these layered one on top of the other. Because why do you need that? The thought behind that is we often think of many other things, but really the offer is all about that whatever product service that you are offering, the value of that is higher than the fears people have about saying yes to it or moving forward with the result. So the value of your offer should outweigh the fears people have in regards to doing business with you. Once you have that figured out, it's golden, it's magic. So it's not about, people ask all the time, how should I price my product? What should be the price range? Should I do it, end it with 974799 this 7? It works But psychologically, it also, the biggest thing to keep in mind is, what are the fears people have? What are the concerns they'll have in regards to my offer? And how can I raise my offer so that we can mitigate those fears? And once you can do that, it's golden. It's the golden key. So again, people say yes to your offer when your offer value is greater than the sum of fears that you have about your offer. So let me know if you get the offer value is not in the price, it's in the fears. It's in eliminating fears. So again, when folks want sales, they focus again on, we always go back to our website, our social media. We need to do some workshops. We need to do webinars. We try all these tactics, but really the key thing is, if you have a solid rejection-proof offer, everything else will work. If you don't have a solid rejection-proof offer, you'll go back into doing all these tactics, but they don't work. You're going to say, my website doesn't convert, people don't show up, this doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. So before we get into all these tactics, they can be worked out. Let's figure out a solid offer that every time I say, present this offer to people, there are many people that raise their hand. So once we do that, then we can go back and get all the tactics in place. But this is very important. This validates your idea. That this really places you in a higher space in your marketplace. So if you look at the core components, your big promise, your uniqueness, your price, and the type of offer, whether it's digital or otherwise, is the foundation. It is the foundation. But then you can add bonuses and urgencies and other things to eliminate other fears that your customers might have in regards to moving forward with the journey with you. Now, before we can really define the offer, I also want to say that, there's study the market, research the market. There's a can factor. You have to make it acceptable. You cannot have a substandard offer. So you need to know what the market is right now. For example, if we go back to our car example, if, auto drive is a standard right now, or leather has become a standard right now, or, rear view camera has become a standard right now, and you bring out a premium vehicle without those basic standards, then obviously you're going to have some struggle in doing that. So know your market, know what is the baseline, what is the acceptable standard, and how you meet or beat that standard is what you'll need to research out. And that is where your differentiation will be, how you meet and beat that standard. So understand the standard. So you have a measuring stick. You have a measuring stick in the ground so you can figure out and focus how you're doing from there. The next thing I always suggest is research 5 competitors. It's so easy to do. Even if you feel like you don't have competition, you have competition. If you don't have direct competition, you have other tools who serve to your industry. You have other influencers who your folks follow. What tools, resources, websites, books, other things are your people that you want to serve reading? Research them. Research at least 5 competitors to see what they are doing, what their message is like, so you can create your differentiation. So know your baseline and know your competition so you can differentiate. So that's what I wanted to share about your offers. The number 3, of course, is messaging. Messaging that gets people to give you your credit card or give you your vision board. And before I do that, I actually wanted to share a video with you. So I'm going to stop share here for a second. And then share my. The reason I want to do this is because I feel messaging is so powerful. How you say what you say can make all the difference in the world. So this video will really highlight that. And And there we go. You see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do to my sign?
I wrote the same, but in different words.
Thanks for that.
Every time I see that video, I'm like wowed by it. Words matter. How you say something matters. So messaging in a business is as big as any other words. So make sure that you're choosing your words right, and your words are actually moving people, right? So messaging is very, very key. And we talked about it yesterday. We talked about how it's not the what, it's the why. So all your messaging should focus a lot on the why. Why do you want to do what you do? And as you could see in that gentleman, I mean, just it said the same thing in a different way. One was, I'm blind, please help. And the other just said, it's a beautiful day and I can't see it. I can't see it, you can, right? So it evokes a feeling. It's the why. Why should someone help him? When they said, just help me, when you put the why that is emotionally connecting with someone, it makes a huge difference. So there are 3 ways to go to the market. There's the ethos and the pathos and the logos. And I'm going to show you again, this one in a video. So tell me which one is, of course, there's pictures right here. So ethos is your marketing messages where you're using logic. Your message is based totally around logic. You're using logic to move people forward. Pathos is where you're using your heart and feelings to move people forward. And then logos is where the rationale brain kicks in. I'm sorry, ethos was where we're using our credibility, our authority. So you see a lot of influential people using that. Pathos is where you're using your heart. And then logos is where you're using the rational brain and mind to move people. So tell me here, I am gonna pick. Do you see my screen? A different one.
Heineken is served in 192 countries. It's world famous. Like me. It happens all the time.
He's ready. Antonio Banderas. It's Antonio Banderas. Yeah, your movies.
Enjoyed in 192 countries. There's more behind the star.
So what do you think that was? Was it ethos, logos, or pathos? You can unmute and share. Was it heart, brain, credibility?
Ethos, right?
Yes, credibility. When you bring in, that's the reason Nike brings in big influential players to their campaigns, because they want to bring in folks with credibility, folks that folks will listen to. Now let's try another one and see if we can guess that.
Here's a good place. What do you think of this one? Find a house close to Nana and Poppy. Get a big yard.
I bet that one's Mom. It's the brightest.
It goes straight to the heart. We will find a way. We will find a way.
You guys, well, there's my boy.
It goes straight to the heart.
Good night.
Night, Dad. Night, Mom.
Okay, well, what was that? You can unmute and share.
That
Your
was
heart.
pathos.
Yeah.
Yes, your heart. Let's share the final one then.
You are my best friend and we've got something to do.
On the floor.
Yeah,
Yo, you wanna meet me in the lounge.
yeah,
Yo, you wanna meet me in the club.
yeah.
Yo, you wanna meet me downtown.
Okay. Every time you call me, I drop what I do. You are my best friend and we've got something to do. Okay.
Okay, thoughts on that one?
Logos. Logic.
Logic, yes. Great cameras, unbreakable screens. It's a no-brainer. Come do business with us. So as a new entrepreneur, or even as someone who has a lot of background, it is nice to have your messaging defined in each of those buckets. One that moves people with logic, one that moves people with feelings. And actually, to be honest, most people move with the heart. That's why it's in the middle. And those that move with credibility. And one question I usually get is, well, I'm starting out, how do I build credibility? So if you don't have credibility yet, lead with passion. Passion can intertwine between ethos and pathos. And also, when you lead with passion, you'll be meeting people who are passionate about same things. Start sharing their stories, or borrow authority, borrow credibility. You do this, and you can vouch that all these big celebrities use this as well. And like I always say, many of you know I offer Facebook ads as a done-for-you service. And I always say, well, if celebrities are using ads and everybody knows them, if influencers are using them, there's a need for it. So use their authority, borrow their authority in your message. Figure out how you can borrow their authority. Are they saying something that is in line with your messaging? Are they doing something that is in line with your messaging? So you can borrow that credibility. I know that's the one that most people struggle with. It's no-brainer to figure out logics and sometimes figure out feelings, but it's always, especially for startup entrepreneurs, it's always an issue to figure out how to get credibility. So I want to mention in your workbook, I know I showed you the customer journey part where you have sections for your customer needs, and then you're going to map your funnel with how you're going to solve those needs through your funnel. And then I forgot to mention, but there's also a section for your offer, the fears people would have about your offer, the objections they'll have, and then how can you up the value so those go away. And then there's a section on building the baseline for your offer and obviously 5 competitors that you want to study. But there's a section for you to fill out for your own offers, for your own messaging. How can you put together a message that talks credibility, a message, and if you don't have one, remember, you can borrow credibility, bring in emotion. How can you bring in emotion and logic? So you have those 3 things defined in your workbook. The other final thing in messaging, which I don't have in the presentation, but I'm going to talk through, is about your first message is when people are aware and they raise their hand, is your pitch. And I often call it your one-line money maker. And in your workbook, and we're going to walk through this one together today, is your pitch document or a pitch formula that I say. So the pitch, first of all, there's 3 commandments to a pitch. The first one is the pitch is not about you. It is definitely not about you. Give me a message chat, or you can even open up and tell me, what do you think is your pitch about? Your pitch is not about you. Your pitch is about them. Yes, Elaine. Your pitch is about your customers. It's not about your most valuable customer, your ideal client. Yes, it's not about you. So the second commandment, your pitch should be about your most valuable clients, most expensive problem that you solve. So it's their problem, not your offer. Right? So it should be your MVC's most expensive problem that you solve. And when I say expensive, it could be costing them monetarily, health-wise, wealth-wise. It doesn't have to be all money. It could be other problems that you solve. And then the third commandment of a pitch is you pledge never to guess your MVC's problems, and you do market research instead. Please don't say my gut feels this is what they need. You're always, always, always gonna do market research. If you're saying something, if you're saying doing something and the market is going in the other direction, it's not gonna hit home. So I want you to take this one to heart, because I see a lot of people doing that. We're like, they keep doing the same thing over and over again and no one raises their hand. So give me I will not guess in the chat, because I do not want you to guess. I want you to do market research. I want this thing to be anchored in your mind. So if you're saying the same market research, using the same pitch and people are not raising your hands, I want you to do market research. Figure out that message that makes people raise their hands. I love this. Everyone's there. I will not guess. Renee, I will not guess. Arti, I will not guess. Mariam, thank you. I will not guess. I saw you smiling there. Elaine, I will not guess. Perfect. So now we come to the formula. So the formula is I am, whatever title you want to say you are, and I help, however you define your MVC, I help them, right, solve whatever problem you solve for them so they can, whatever results they can achieve, right? So now you're going to tell me, like, this is all about the what. I am so-and-so, I help so-and-so solve XYZ so that they can, right? So you're going to tell me that. It's mainly like I say, I am a social media strategist, enthusiast, and I help businesses stay front and center of their customers so that when they're ready to buy, you become an obvious choice. Right? It needs to be very simple, clear, direct, one line, but there's no feeling to it yet, right? So what I say is you should always add something more to it. You can add, we are going to add our ethos, logos, all those three things into this pitch. Start here and then start refining it so you can add more so that when customers are ready to buy, they are your obvious choice. And I do this because I believe every small business has potential to make big profits. I believe in that vision and I am set forth to make sure that that happens, right? So once you add that, now you've added your belief into it. Oftentimes you can add a stat. When you add a stat, you're hitting the logical part of the brain. Like I sometimes start with, research shows it takes 7 to 17 touches before a customer is ready to buy, right? I help businesses to stay top of mind so that when the customer is ready, they're the obvious choice. So now I've added logic to it. How can you add credibility to it? You can say, in the last 25 years of, working in social media, I have found that it takes 7 to 17 touches. Just by adding those little things here and there, you can refine your messaging and make it bigger and better. So go through your one line, and I say one line, it sometimes ends up being two line, but this is your one line, two line moneymaker, which is going to have your people raise your hands. So have those things ready. So this is all in your workbook. What I would really love for folks to do as a homework is join the group, Small Business Big Profits, if you're not part of it. If you're watching it anywhere, feel free to join the group and practice. This is the biggest thing that's going to have your people raise their hand. So practice your pitch, share your pitches in the Facebook group. And I truly believe small businesses can get big, massive profits as long as they're committed, they follow the process, they commit to getting 2% better every day. So after day 60, they're 200% better. I know that only you have to do the work, but you don't have to do it alone. We are here for you. You can do this. Start today. Start now. And with that, I'm going to move it out to Jason. Get up, Jason.
Hello. How is that, guys? I know that I've been through this material before, and I know some of you have as well, but I found myself taking notes again, both on my computer, on my on this, and I got an iPad. So I was going a little nuts, but because I had a couple different places I had all this stuff. Every time Cam goes over this for me, I realize I missed something the first time. So it's so good, and you're going to benefit from looking back and watching the replay and seeing that. So tomorrow we're going to, by the way, how many of you feel like you really deserve this for your business? Put that in the chat, that I deserve this for myself. I deserve to know this stuff so I can get my message out, right? Yes, most definitely. I deserve this. And as you're going through the workbook, say that over and over again in your head as you're writing down these notes, as you're thinking about what you want to say to your customers. Cam was going over that with us. And, the part that tripped me over when I first started this was I was consumed by the flashy stuff, the website. I got to have this. I got to have the logo. I got to have the look. And that's what's going to attract. I was thinking like a fisherman, just thinking about the lure and it's got to be flashy and shiny. And Cam really did a great job and is doing it again of reframing it, backing up and setting the stage for creating awareness before we start, getting the credit card, as she says. So as you're going through that, as you're working through that mindset, say, I deserve this. I deserve to know better so I can deliver better. Now, again, if you haven't done the thing of joining the VIP session, it's not too late. I'd like you to go to smallbusinesshub.org / dashboard and log on to the VIP session. You can join us today and the rest of the week. You're gonna thank yourself for doing that. Tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow we're gonna go over building our sales process. We're gonna go over that more in depth. Our social media strategy. That is gonna be a huge chunk of time and so valuable right there. Our lead generation. What is a lead generation and what's the importance of it? Where's its place in all this that we've just talked about so far? And ethically hack your competitors. I love that one because ethically hack, that's a great use of the word because we think there's some things that are out there that are just kind of, not for us. We shouldn't do. Well, there's ethical ways we can bribe our potential clients. There's ethical ways we can hack in our competitors to know what they know about the rest of the industry. And Cam's going to show us what that looks like in an ethical way. All right. So we're going to see you back. Do the homework and submit that so we can see it in the Facebook group. And be sure to log on to the Facebook group and say hello if you haven't done so yet and submit your homework. We're going to jump in the VIP session. It's not too late. smallbusinesshub.org / dashboard and hit the VIP button. And do that because you deserve it. Okay. We're going to see you all there. And if you're not able to do that, then we're going to see you tomorrow, same time. And we'll start this off afresh with day 3. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to build upon everything we've talked about so far, everything Cam shared so far. All right. We ready for VIP?